Conservatives engaged in their typical theatrical meltdown over LeBron James and his tweet about the police shooting and killing of a 16-year-old in Columbus, Ohio. That was the story of Ma'Khia Bryant that we talked about on the show just yesterday. Now, in that story, the victim, the person who got shot and killed, was seen on body cam footage with a knife in her hand, and the police department is arguing that they had no choice but to use lethal force in order to save the life or the safety of the person that she was charging at. Now, they have non-lethal weapons. We talked about how you don't have to immediately go to a gun and a lethal weapon in order to respond to that situation, but LeBron James was upset about that, as many people across the country were. And on Wednesday afternoon, the Los Angeles Lakers star tweeted a photo that appeared to show the officer who was involved in the shooting of Bryant with the caption, quote, "You're next, #accountability." And that's when the fake outrage ensued, because as we know, the right wing has nothing to offer you other than fake outrage over what African-American celebrities and athletes are saying about a very real problem in this country, which is police killings. So Tom Cotton is one of those people. He tweeted, LeBron James is, get this, inciting violence against an Ohio police officer. This is disgraceful and dangerous. Is the NBA okay with this? Is Twitter? Now, mind you, this is coming from a Republican lawmaker who made excuse after excuse for the Capitol Hill rioters who were assaulting police officers, Capitol police officers. This is the same guy who had no problems with that, as you had those rioters chant things like "hang Mike Pence," who was the vice president at the time. I mean, this is a person who aids and abets violence by refusing to do anything about gun control, even when it comes to popular proposals like universal background checks. So for him to pretend, because that's what this is pretending. For him to pretend as if LeBron James's tweet is advocating for violence is pretty rich and also incredibly disgusting, which is why I was personally upset at the fact that LeBron James ended up taking that tweet down. And then he explained why, Cenk. I wanna just read you his final tweet on this, where he says, "I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer, it's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. I'm so desperate for more accountability." And it was so obvious what he was referring to in that first tweet. They want justice. When he's saying "you're next," he's obviously referencing the fact that Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd by kneeling on his neck for more than 9 minutes, was found guilty on 3 charges. That's what he was referencing there. But anyway.
Yeah, so a couple of things here. First of all, he used the word accountability. It's not really a demagoguing word.
It's a very dangerous word for Republicans. They don't like it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Trump and his acolytes hate accountability. Second of all, we catered to the right wing way of thinking way too much. So the right wing thinks, black people telling us they've been getting abused by cops and shot by cops when they're unarmed. We never believed them. All these years, literally now hundreds of years, we never believed them. We think they're all liars, right? Now there's video evidence of it happening over and over and over again, and we still largely don't believe them. And we think the violence that the cops are doing is good. They're serving, they're serving the people. Okay, the cops are looking out for us. Okay, so you like that violence, you encourage that violence against unarmed people from a guy who has a gun and a badge. Okay, but when LeBron James asked for legal accountability, I can't believe he's in favor of violence. It's ironically the same exact racism. Tom Cotton sees LeBron James and goes, black person must be violent, right? He sees a white cop killing a black person and thinks, no, white cop, good guy. The unarmed black man who was killed 9 out of 10 times, no, he wants to smoke pot, et cetera, et cetera. So no, we shouldn't appease these guys at all. Now, I want to give you important context as to why LeBron James is so mad. Because one of the things that frustrates me about the media coverage of this particular story is that they're making it seem like it's a standalone story. Now, not all of them, and they of course give the context of George Floyd and some of the recent shootings like Dante Wright, but they make it appear like the killings of unarmed black men started with George Floyd. No, it's been happening for so long. In fact, on this show, I criticized LeBron James for not doing enough and not saying enough when it was happening over and over again in Ohio. And maybe that frustration is built up with him, and now he feels like, you know what, maybe I'm empowered. Maybe they can't really take my power away. Of course, LeBron, of course, you're mega rich. It's about time that he did this, and don't back down.
Yeah.
So he's from Ohio, he's from Cleveland, LeBron James is. So what happened in Ohio recently? Now this shooting was in Ohio. But again, the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting, she did have a knife, and she was lunging at someone, and so it's a complicated case. That one is complicated, right? So, but they make it seem like, okay, well, now we're going to judge all black people and their anger and frustration based on this case alone. No, look at Tamir Rice, 12-year-old. We're going to show it to you now. 12-year-old in Ohio has a toy gun in a park. The cops pull up. Shoot him dead, 2 seconds flat. 2 seconds flat. They didn't ask, hey, wait, you look small, you look young. Is that a toy, is it not a toy?
No questions asked.
No questions asked.
That's the thing.
They never even said put your hands up. Freeze, you're under arrest. You remember how they used to say that? No, a 12-year-old boy, they come up and shoot him dead. Oh, oops, it was a toy gun. So now more in Ohio. John Crawford in a Walmart. BB gun that he was going to buy from Walmart. He picked it up from the store. They were selling it there. And a white guy reported him like, oh, dangerous black guy with a gun. Cops show up. He puts the gun down. They start shooting anyway. He's in a panic. He comes back, murdered him right there. The whole thing took 6 seconds. They didn't ask, hey, are you buying something? Freeze, you're under arrest. Who are you? They see the BB gun on the ground. They kill him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And the point that I want to make about LeBron James and his decision to take the tweet down, the reason why I found it so upsetting is because I realize that he isn't fully aware of his influence and power. Because the fact that LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, these stars, these athletes get the kind of blowback and backlash they do from right wingers is because they're influential. They're literally seen by people as living heroes because of their talent, because of their abilities, their just all of their success, their fame, exactly. So that's pretty powerful. And so what Republicans do is try to bully people, these so-called free speech guys, right? They pretend to care so much about free speech. What they do is bully powerful and influential people like Colin Kaepernick, like LeBron James, so they'll be silent on these issues. Because Republicans want to have the dominant narrative. They want to dominate the narrative on these issues. And honestly, look at Democratic lawmakers. You think Democratic lawmakers are good at talking about these issues? You saw how Nancy Pelosi responded to Derek Chauvin's guilty verdict. She said something that was incredibly embarrassing about how George Floyd sacrificed his life for justice. That is not the right way to handle the situation. But if you have powerful people who, especially young people, look up to, like LeBron James speaking out on these issues, it has power. And I want him to realize that and not get bullied into taking tweets down or remaining silent on issues. You shouldn't. He should definitely speak out.
Yeah, quick clarification. LeBron James played in Cleveland. He's from Akron in Ohio, and Tamir Rice was killed in Cleveland. So if you're new to this and you didn't realize that the black men were getting shot all over the country by police, okay, well, we just showed you the tip of the iceberg. We've covered dozens and dozens and dozens of stories on this show alone, let alone all the ones where there wasn't video footage, and let alone all the ones that happened in the past. So if you come at LeBron or us or anyone saying, oh yeah, you should apologize for being angry that and putting cops' lives in danger, the people being shot and killed are the citizens. But to the people like Tom Cotton and the Republicans, they don't matter. Their lives don't matter. That's why the slogan is Black Lives Matter. Because to people like Tom Cotton, they don't. And too often for police, they don't. We've seen it with our own eyes. You just saw it with your own eyes. And so that's what LeBron is mad about. And honestly, he should be even more mad. If they used all of their power together, they could have a giant impact.
Yes.
And by the way, one of the things they should ask for is accountability from Democrats. Because Democrats constantly talk, but they never pass any bills. They never, all these shootings and nothing ever changes. Because the Democrats don't have the courage to act. And the vicious racists that are in the Republican Party are constantly bullying the Democrats into complete inaction.
I mean, Biden promised a police reform commission, not to pass legislation, but to study the issue. And he backed out of that, guys. He backed out of that.
It's pathetic. The commission and political talk is, I'm not gonna do a damn thing about it.
And he wouldn't even do that. He wouldn't even do that. He wouldn't even carry out the commission. So look, we're honest about both sides here. And so Democrats certainly bear some responsibility when it comes to the inaction from the federal government. But again, and it doesn't just have to do with LeBron James. It goes for everyone. Understand your power and wield it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, last thing that's now more political. Democrats have this awful strategy of, when we get in office, we won't do anything, so you'll have to vote for us the next time around. Man, you're gonna get caught. So you're not gonna do anything about police shootings, you're not gonna do anything about gun violence, you're not gonna do anything about marijuana legalization and all the people who were, millions of people that were wrongly put into jail because of that and continue to be put into jail because of that. You're not gonna do anything at $15 minimum wage, and I can go on and on and on. And then you're gonna come back and tell us, elect us again so that we could do nothing again. This time we'll do it. No, you pulled the football too many times. Either do your goddamn job or just admit you're just a Republican and this is all kabuki theater. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.